What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Soul and Tricycle podcast. Unfortunately, Luke and Ashley couldn't join us this evening, but I do still have Rob with me.
What's up?
And joining us tonight, we have a couple of special guests. We have Kelly Green Cosplay. And we have Dana of Nine Realms Entertainment. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry.
Considering what the B-roll has shown me, yeah, I had far more confidence in this being worth my time than it is.
Wow.
Coming out
It's okay.
swinging.
We can cut that. We can cut that.
You
I
cut
can't,
him?
obviously.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
if I just hit this
I'll just
button.
blank him out for the whole thing.
Oh, wow. We're off to a great start, guys.
There you go.
Hey, perfect. I don't have to do any work now. Thanks.
I'll hold that up long enough so that you can screen cap it, and then you can
I'll just loop it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was.
Oh, you only need like 3 seconds of it.
I was going to just put a picture of Loki up there for the whole thing, but you know that works too.
Oh, man. Why do I do this again?
Because you love us.
The
Shut
money.
fuck up.
We have
the
4
money.
viewers,
Yeah,
okay?
the money is definitely
And that's
why
on
we
a
do
good
this.
night.
We have what?
Like 4 viewers on a good day.
That's generous.
And you're
I know.
But how are you guys doing?
doing all right.
Fine. Good.
Playing with my Legos.
What set are you playing?
This
with
is not
right now?
not an endorsement sponsored spot by Lego, by the way. This is just me playing with Legos.
Other brands are available, like one, and it's terrible, but you know.
Isn't it like Duplos?
I know,
No.
I'm a Mega Bloks girl.
Mega Block.
You're a heathen, is what you are.
No.
Did you guys
Definition.
did you guys hear like last year there was a warehouse in China that got like shut down by the government with like $40 billion in counterfeit Legos?
Ha!
So that number is probably wrong, but it was some ridiculous number like that.
That's awesome. Oh, that's backwards.
Counterfeit Legos.
There we go. Fix that.
Yep, they were fake Lego sets. So they were like I think they were Harry Potter sets, I want to say, or Star Wars sets, but they were not made by Lego. They were completely like in-box branded Lego.
So I've noticed something interesting with all my perusing, and yes, I got an account on the Lego website store near here because it's Vermont. It's interesting because you can kind of use it to get a pulse on what's being successful in pop culture. So like they have some Lego Batman stuff. They have an upcoming Lego Wonder Woman set because she still does well enough with her movie. But for the most part, there's no Lego DC, but there's so much Lego Marvel current and upcoming that they had to break Spider-Man off into his own sub-tab search bar. And Lego Harry Potter, even though the Fantastic Beasts movies aren't doing so well, the main franchise is doing so well that they're bringing back sets like parts of Hogwarts and stuff like that. Because
I have the Hogwarts Express. I got it in high school.
Yeah, exactly. Like that one is currently out of stock, but it's still available on back order. I'm trying to shop from Lego directly as much as possible because Amazon has taken enough of my. But yeah, it's just an interesting thing I noticed, and I mean, you know, their original stuff like this one. They got this one group of sets that's an AR. Hooked yet. Yeah, just something I noticed.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like you can see the Lego is like any company. Well, I guess they're not as bad as Funko for having everything pop culture, but you know, they do try to keep up with what people want.
And part of it's licensing too, I'm sure. Like, you know, some of it they might just not be able to get a licensing deal with someone. They've got Disney Lego stuff, so they're probably not going to get DreamWorks Lego stuff.
Well, here's a question: how many Lego Batman or Lego DC games have there been?
So there were 3 Lego Batmen, although the latter 2 were kind of just the precursors to the Lego DC ones, and then there's been, say, 2, maybe 3 Lego games specifically. Like the most recent one was the one where you make an original character
Alright.
to play it.
Now,
I played
how
all the
many-
Lego games. How many Lego Marvels have?
Exactly.
Actually, only about 3, 4, maybe slightly more, maybe one more than that.
Really? I thought there was more
Because
than
there
that.
were 2 Lego Marvel Avengers. One where Kang was playing around with time, and you had like all the different in it. But yeah, there actually haven't been
3 copies of that game.
it's fucking Lego games, man. They're awesome. I love them.
Well, we have one for PlayStation.
Some of them have been discontinued. Lego Lord of the Rings got discontinued.
But there was also there was 2 just like Lego Marvel games as well.
Right. Those were the first 2 I was listing that I was
Well, no,
thinking of at least.
There's okay, so there's 3 Lego Marvel games, and then there's like an open world Lego Avengers game, and there was a sequel to that.
Well, they're all open world. They all have open world hubs. So there were 2
like,
that were set in New York, and
much
there was
more
one.
so.
There was one that was much more open world, where you had like, Spider-Man 2099s.
Oh, cool.
I want to say this was actually roughly around the time that Into the Spider-Verse came out, because there were a crap load of Spider characters in that one.
Yeah, that's isn't that Lego Marvel Avengers 2 that's the one with Kang, right? Because you have like New York Noir, and then like the 2099, and
Yeah,
New
yeah, that's the one with
New
Kang.
York. Yeah. No,
Kang was
there's
being a dick.
yeah, there was the Lego Marvel Superheroes 1 and 2 as well. So that's 4. We counted 4. So you guys are both members of Guardian Legion.
Yep.
Are we good to talk about that? We can talk about it.
We can move the conversation on.
Can
It's
we
like,
talk about Guardian Legion, or is it a
No, I
it's,
mean,
it's,
I mean, like, we're not going to get yelled at for talking about Guardian Legion, right?
no,
first
we're
rule
not.
of Guardian Legion: you do not talk about Guardian Legion.
And that's why we have. Never mind.
So for our viewers, or our viewer that probably doesn't know what Guardian Legion is,
Fuck.
Dana's been talking a lot. Kelly, why don't you give us a little? Could you give us a little bit of a description of what you guys do?
Guardian
Sure.
Legion is a small group of us in Vermont.
Where's
And
Vermont?
it's below Canada,
Shut the
between
fuck
New
up.
York and New Hampshire.
Where's New Hampshire?
I was gonna ask that one next, but
It's
I
the
live
south
pretty
of the
close.
north.
Yeah.
No, and so we do a lot of
It's a garage door.
community service things. If people want superheroes, there's very few of us around because Vermont is so small and rural. But we do a lot with Make-A-Wish. We do stuff with Vermont Lake Monsters. We've done Girl Scouts. And yeah, it's just a group of us who really like dressing up and engaging with kids and young people, and it's fun.
What's
That's
Vermont?
awesome.
What's Vermont Lake Monster?
It's a local minor
it's
league. Go ahead, Kelly.
yeah. It's the minor league baseball team up
Oh,
here
okay.
in Burlington. They used to be the Expos, now the Lake Monsters, because of a lake monster in Lake Champlain. His
Apparently.
name is Champ.
What? Lake Monster? All right.
Okay, we're
we
about to go off
started.
another tangent here.
We started because we
There's
had
an episode of Monster Hunters where they do a whole segment on Champ.
I did not know that.
I didn't know there was a lake monster for Vermont.
Hold on, let me just.
New York, because Lake Champlain
Okay.
is between the two.
I'm gonna look that up later.
You're really curious too, huh?
Lake Monster.
Kinda, yeah. This is not where I thought tonight was gonna go, but I really want to know about this lake monster now.
Yeah.
You're bugging me all night. All right.
Think like a very New England Loch Ness, and that's Champ.
Oh, so it's a lake
Uh,
monster.
Lake Monster. Well, there are Abenaki legends of a monster in the lake, so
That's true. The only thing we got is like Lake Winnipesaukee, and everyone just goes, "You did what in a lake?"
So yeah, the Guardian Legion started because we had done some stuff helping promote a now defunct Comic-Con that was here for a couple of years, including things like helping at a local museum, the Shelby Museum. They host a trick-or-treat every year. We have an open ground, a historical site kind of thing with like barn stuff and whatnot. So they open the site so the kids can just, have at it, and the parents can even let them run a bit like, we used to back in the 90s. And very, very good community little thing. So we had helped promote this con at that. And when we distanced ourselves from that con a couple of years before it just ended itself, I was like, that was a lot of fun. And we, those of us who live here who do the Comic-Con scene, we enjoy dressing up. We enjoy doing Comic-Cons, but there's like so little opportunity to it that doesn't involve paying a few $100 to go to a show.
Right.
And I says to myself, I'm just like, I reached out to the museum. They welcomed us back. And from there, sorry, what?
I says to myself.
Self.
And then from there, I just was thinking about it, and I said, and through some folks I know in the community, they act like a local restaurant owner who works with the lake monsters. He gave me the contact information, and because every once a year they have things like a Star Wars night and they have superhero night. So I was like, well, that's fucking perfect. And it kind of just grew from there with things being available, because it was remarkably easy for me to find folks, not just like the local Vermont Renaissance Fair, but just in general saying, oh, here's a local bookstore who they do community events. Let's just make an event where we show up in our costumes. And they were happy to have us, a couple with them. Recently, we had to stop, obviously, because of COVID, but we also very fortunate, I feel, that we were able to start visiting the kids in the hospital that's here in Burlington, because that was just a great experience. So yeah, I mean, that's the Cliff Notes somewhat.
Yeah,
I don't do Cliff Notes well. I ramble.
Do
well,
you?
yeah.
Shut up.
We hadn't noticed.
Shut up.
No, that's what we're trying to get you to do.
A ramble off the cliff notes.
I'm gonna steal that. I like that.
What?
Just
Shut up.
right. No.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously I can go into more, Kelly and I can go into more detail on any of that that you guys are curious about.
Well, I mean, there's no point in acting like we all don't cosplay.
Right.
I've never cosplayed. I don't. What? Cosplay. What's that? That's for nerds,
It's
right?
cosplay.
That's for people in their basements, right?
Bye. I'll have you know,
Fired.
it's the top floor of the house. Okay. I'm not in a basement.
It just looks like one with that wood finish.
No, I agree, actually. Obviously, we've all been quarantined.
Yep.
And
Have
what
we?
is the what?
I mean, I just don't go out to begin with, so...
Yeah, my lifestyle hasn't changed. I mean,
Although, actually, in all
anyway.
seriousness, there is definitely a difference, even for introverts, between simply not choosing to go anywhere
and not being
able to go anywhere has definitely been a difference psychologically.
But I guess the question I have is, we're all cosplayers. We're all in quarantine. Clearly, there's only one thing to do. What have you all been working on?
If Kelly doesn't mind, I'll start on this one because I have much less to say. Shut the fuck up. Simply because I set myself up for that one. I don't make my own costumes. I'm not a crafter in any sense. Heck, I've had Kelly make some of my stuff before, and she's amazing at it, for the record.
I totally meant to have a piece of anyway.
For me, it hasn't really changed, my cosplay game, because other than the fact that the stuff's in the closet for longer. Cons are basically done for the year, and I was kind of going to take it easy on conventions this year anyway, even before quarantine happened. I mean, I'm working on other stuff and picking up new hobbies, but yeah.
Kelly.
Okay, so I have been sewing since I can remember. So I've been sewing for about 30 years, and I've been picking up other skills along the way. And at the end of February, beginning of March, I had an entire month off before I started my new job. I got real deep into sewing and building costumes. I made a classic Wonder Woman. I had been attempting to do one of those for a very, very long time. I just could never get it right because I try not to use patterns but self-draft stuff, and it just never fit right. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do the Wonder Woman costume for the movies, and I've been working on that. I had to kind of go to the wayside when my new job started because I don't have energy to work on it. In the past few weeks, I had to put that on the wayside because that was more of an experiment. Because I was using foam. In the past few weeks, I've really been working on a bishop of the medieval persuasion. So I have been working on that, and it's coming along great.
And I know for a while there you were getting into leatherworking,
Yes.
and I can attest to that. So
Yeah, I haven't done so much in leather because a few other things have have held my attention. But yeah, I've started making masks. I started making some leather props. I made bracers for Dana. I made bracers for me. And then the shoulder thing that Loki wears, because Dana and I both do a version of Loki. Made myself one, and then I was just like, hey, you buy me the leather, I'll make it for you.
And I said,
Because
fuck yes.
Working with leather is really fun.
I started to look into it for a Arkham Robin that I was gonna do, and yeah, it never went anywhere.
For me, it's just I've thought about it. Like, I would love to do big armor suits like Power Rangers or Ultron or Transformers, and obviously the best way to do that is foam, because 3D print that stuff. Congratulations, you just became a statue.
I can move
But-
in my Iron Man suit, okay?
Right. So part of
Like
it,
a very
part
big
of it is
statue.
just, part of it is that I'm in an apartment where there's my bedroom, there's a shared living room, and that is it. There's space, you know. But also, it's just I'll admit that it's really daunting to try to get into that, and I don't like doing things I'm not good at.
Well,
is what I'm
You'll
saying.
never get better if you don't try.
I'm aware.
That's a life lesson from Kelly right there. Just do things until you're good at them.
Literally, though.
I know. I mean, obviously, it's just.
I know,
Yeah,
like my older sister will be like, a couple of years ago, I wanted to start embroidery. Never did it before, and so I was like, I got fabric, I got floss, and I just started making stuff. She's like, how did you know you could do that? I'm like, I didn't. I just did
Yeah.
it.
And there's so many tutorials too on the YouTubes and shit.
I just
I
realized
didn't
how
know
many of your things we have around here, Kelly.
What?
I just realized how many of your things I have around now. Because we have an embroidered, like, needlepoint thing from the wedding, and we
You have a cross stitch.
yeah, that one. I don't know. What it's called. We have a cross stitch that you did, and then we've got the masks, and yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, just I never did anything with leather until a PDF download of how to make one of the Captain America leather pouches based off of the first Avenger costume that Chris Evans wore. And I'm like, you know what? I think I could do it. It was $3 to purchase and download, and the stuff was at Nichols. I'm like, oh, this is pretty easy. And then I just started doing more.
I think I would be more likely to get into either foam to do those armor suits that I want to do, because there's no way you can really accurately. Or I would get into 3D printing, because at this point they're so easy to get, and eventually the helmet is going to break, and it's either, go spend a weekend with you, Justin, my head measurement, how to make my own.
Well,
That's
honestly,
please don't
a
spend
lot
the
of the
weekend getting your head
skills
measured at my house.
I've been working with foam too, and so a lot of the skills I use with foam, some of the skills I use with leather, they're kind of interchangeable. So
It's just the
learn one.
amount of pressure to apply.
You know what really intimidates
Yes,
me
but
about all of it?
there's a I discovered burnishing wheels is what you do to like get a nice smooth edge on leather. Works really well with foam. Like if you have a Dremel, just get a burnishing tool. You can get them for like $4 on Amazon, and they heat seal the edges and they make them look nice and smooth, and it's real nice.
So you know what really intimidates me about any of it, foam, 3D printing, whatever, is the
Tools.
edges, like you were just saying. I'm sorry? What, say the sass?
Tools.
So, well,
You should be
the
using
edging, like you were
tools.
saying, but also just straight up the painting of it, getting the paint right, because when I do attempt to actually draw something, it's very frustrating for me, even when it's something that I'm drawing within whatever you would call my skill level. Trying to get it to look. I don't want to say that I'm OCD or anything, but it's when it doesn't look right, it bothers me.
You strive for perfection, and if it's not there, it's an issue.
Which is why I like Legos so much, because all you have to do is fucking click them together, and it's.
I do have to admit I struggle with that. I've you truly are your own worst enemy. I've definitely had to learn to be happy with my skill level, even though
Right.
I want to do better.
And like you said, you'll get better as you do it, obviously.
Yeah. There's been several costumes now that when I finished, I was super proud of, and then I built skills, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna redo it because I know I can do better now. Oh,
Kelly, something you said earlier reminded me of a joke, and I'm going to add you to the joke.
okay.
Oh boy.
What does a caveman, Kelly, and a progressive metal fan have in common? I like Tool.
Oh,
Holy shit! That's what the fuck.
That-
is
that
that
joke was-
fucking funny?
That joke was bad when you told it to me.
Is this how you all feel when I make jokes? Because that's amazing.
Yep.
like tools, not
Well,
tool.
Tool?
You know,
Tool.
caveman and a progressive metal
I
fan
like
can't.
Tool.
But yeah, Kelly, like you were saying, I mean, your first Loki compared to your more recent one is a completely different level. And it's not like I'm doing this for competitions. I mean, I've never done a cosplay competition. I don't plan to. I was actually part of the reason I was planning to take a break from cons this year to begin with is just since I only go to cons to hang out with people I know, who I only really see at cons. A lot of them have been easing off because various life and social reasons. Again, even before COVID. And I don't really buy anything from vendors. I might go up and talk to celebrities, just pick their brain or say, how much I've enjoyed seeing them and whatever. But I don't pay for autographs. I don't pay for merchandise. I just go to walk around. And, it just kind of, with all the cons I've done, like 28, 19, it's just, I don't know, I kind of needed a break from it. And since I don't make my stuff, it's that as a draw to keep at it for an extended period. I don't know. Again, rambling.
Okay, so without talking to each other, Kelly, you'll find this interesting. Earlier today,
Wait,
I was
what?
having a conversation with
okay.
Dana, and I forget exactly. Oh no, it started with us having a conversation with Rob, and it was about overbearing parents, and he's like, "Fucking parents, yeah, you."
Oh.
And we were like, "Oh, fucking parents," and then I was like, "Wait a minute, fuck you, I'm a parent," and he goes, "That's a parent." Like 4 hours go by, right? And I'm having a conversation with Dana, and I sent him a meme of like a dad joke, and he goes, apparently something or whatever. I don't
Well,
remember.
no, I
But
said
they
your
made the
meme was
same-
an oldie but a goodie because it was the meme.
Oh,
Dad's carrying the
yo-
Christmas tree, and the kid says, "Dad, are you gonna
Yeah,
put that
that's
up
a
in
nice tree. Are you gonna put it up in the living room?
No,
Are
no.
you
the
gonna
dad-
put it
the-
up
the kid
yourself?
said-
No, I was gonna put it up in the living room. And then he said something about jokes become bad when the punchline becomes apparent.
A bad joke becomes a
Uh.
dad joke when the punchline becomes apparent.
They made the same stupid pun. You
In
realize
my
I have to deal
defense,
with
I
two
thought
of them,
that
right?
one up
Or
like months ago, and
wherever
I've
the
just
fuck
been
they
are.
using it like spam.
You do have to admit, a good pun is its own reword.
I love you.
Hate all of you. That's it.
What is that? A glue
The
gun?
glue gun away.
Getting glue gun in your
How many-
ear so you
how
don't
many
have to
times
hear
am I
the
gonna make
puns
this-
anymore?
Yeah. How many times am I going to threaten somebody with a glue gun on this podcast before someone actually tells us we have to stop?
I don't know, but it seems to be a joke that you're sticking to.
I'm not even going to dignify that one, Rob.
It's okay. But
Oh, I get it.
Dana, you are off tonight, not catching on to these puns.
No, I caught that one right away. It's just funnier to wait.
They went.
Anyway,
They're going right over his head. No, they wouldn't. His reflexes are too fast, and he would catch them.
No,
He's not
No.
a Drax cosplayer.
I don't care.
I mean if I'm anyone from the Guardians, I'm Star-Lord.
You're a Rocket
Huh?
Raccoon at best.
You're fuck off at best.
Yeah, pretty much.
We all want to be Star-Lord, but the reality is,
We are Groot.
yeah.
Aww.
Oh.
Well played.
Yeah, well, you know.
What are you guys working on?
Oh, I'm not working on anything.
Get off there.
Shazam!
Zion!
Sonic the
Shazam.
Hedgehog?
Yes. It's actually Sonic, and you guys were wrong. No, I've got.
Well, you've got the
Shazam
creepy
where-
teeth all set. No, I don't mean like you personally. I mean reference to the first trailer before they redesigned him.
Well, fuck Dana. I'm muting him. Oh wait, I don't have to. Is Michael do it for me? No, I've got Shazam that I'm working on. That's been kind of in the plan for a while, and I just got sick of waiting to be able to buy the one I wanted, so I started making one. I've got more than one Iron Man suit in the works.
I really need to get a
Add my
DC
collection.
in my lineup.
What else? There's like a bunch of stuff. I literally have to like iron the patches onto a pair of pants for Gambit to be finished. So
And that's the toughest part, is ironing on patches.
I've just been lazy. I don't want to. It's they're like.
God, are
vinyl-
you Iron Man or not?
You're welcome, Dana.
Thank you. I was waiting to see
I
if you
just
would
have
take
to get
the shot.
the S shirt from my Jughead costume and then it's done.
I actually have to do the same thing. I have everything else for Jughead.
I want to.
The hat.
I
You
wanted
know-
to for a while.
Have the hat.
Yeah,
For a
no,
while, I wanted to. What? Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'll wait.
No, I currently don't have anything in the works. I have things I want to do, but I just haven't gotten to any of it. Because right now
Rob.
I'm what?
I have an idea for you,
Okay.
Archie.
Huh?
You're wearing a Letterman, and I want you to cosplay Archie.
No.
He's
Come
gonna
on,
do
just dye your hair
Jughead.
red. You're done.
You need to. He's gonna do Jughead.
Do a Riverdale Avengers mashup.
Ooh.
I'm actually like into that. We'll work out details later. Oh,
Yeah.
Lockie from the Wiggles. I'm working on Lockie from the Wiggles.
I still can't believe you were serious about that.
Oh yeah. Rob's doing
He the one who falls
Simon?
asleep.
Yes, Lucky is the purple one that falls asleep. Rob's gonna be the blue one.
Whose name
We have
was
Simon.
that one.
No, Anthony. Simon's
Yeah, that
the
one.
opposite. Roxas is going to be Emma, and we're trying
There's
to
a
convince.
Lady Wiggles.
Yes, and we're
in,
trying
in the
to
new
convince Dana right now
Wiggles.
Oh,
to do Simon, but he won't do it because Dana.
I don't. Sorry, I don't know if you're just far away from your mic or something, but I couldn't hear some of that.
Please,
Don't
for the love of
overcompensate.
God, just do the damn Wiggles cosplay with us.
I mean, it would probably be the most comfortable cosplay.
It's literally pants and a shirt and a
Yeah,
big
exactly.
belt buckle, and
So,
that's it.
Perfect
Also,
segue. So for a while, I've been considering adding Joker to my lineup because for the most part, it's just clothing, and I do want to learn the makeup skill, blending and content. Yeah, so I want to do Joker. There's other one makeup that I want to do, Beast Boy, Nightcrawler. But Joker would be a good one to start with because it's the costume effect would be much simpler.
you definitely just reminded me of another one that's on my list that I'm working on right now.
If it's Joker, I will crowbar you.
No, it's well, wow, fuck you. It's Caecilius. I did the makeup test for that a little while back.
Who?
The bad guy from Doctor Strange with the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that post. That was good.
That Roxas was doing makeup for her. I don't even remember what she was doing. She was just doing like a makeup test, and I was like, just like looking at the shit that I had sitting on the counter, and I was like, okay, I have black. There's some purple powder there that nobody's using. I got this.
I want to do Doctor Strange too, just because I love the cape and I love those plastic LED sigils that you can buy. Right, wrist bands on them too, and they're all connected. Like I love those things mainly because But I want to do Doctor Strange because again, it would be a fairly comfortable.
I'm working on a prop for the like clear like dagger or like spear things that he throws. I've got a prop
when he's
for
still
those.
like trying to figure out how to do it. Yeah.
Well, no, the ones that Caecilius throws.
Oh,
when they're
right.
fighting.
Sorry. I was thinking of Strange. Yeah, the clear prism smoky things.
Yeah, I've got a prop in the works for those, and it's gonna float below my hands, and it's gonna be awesome.
Nice. One of my favorite props that I saw was I was at Boston. This was probably 2018, and I saw some folks doing Booker and Elizabeth Bioshock Infinite, and so the skyhook was, I'm pretty sure it was just like one of the store-bought ones, but all the costume, they both had costumes where like they stepped out of the game. It was so perfect. But best part, I didn't even notice she had it because she was just letting it hang from one hand. When I asked to do a photo, she holds up her hands and like spreads them apart and has wire hold, basically just blue like projector film that had been crinkled and shaped so that she just held, and the tear was hovering between her hands. And I lost my fucking mind. It was like the picture still. You'd have to go deep on my Instagram to find it.
I think I know who that is too. Actually, I'm pretty sure I know who it is.
Nice folks.
Yeah, I've got a friend who does a really, really good Elizabeth.
So. I'll later on. I'll dig for the.
Oh, I can just Instagram stalk you. It's fine.
I mean, at least
it might be easier for me to just find a picture of the person I'm thinking of and send it to you and be like, "Is this her?"
True, but there's been times conventions. Actually, that same year, so I see this one girl dressed as the casual May from Watch, basically look, and I'm like, oh, and I start chatting. We're walking past each other, and I start do a quick turn to catch her, and I start talking. It's like, oh, I haven't seen Granite, and blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, never been to Granite. And it turned out I, went through my photos and showed her someone who I had met at Granite a few months back, who was like her fucking twin, like twins separated at birth level of. And she even grabs like her boyfriend who was right there, and she's just like, "Holy shit! Like, does this look like me?" And yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
it was. Yeah, so I mean, especially with the amount of makeup that some cosplayers wear, like I have gotten people confused all the time too.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
I had people calling me Kyle like all fucking weekend at Granite Con.
You don't
and
even look like a Kyle.
I'm not even gonna go into why that happened. But I was like, I'm not.
Oh.
Hey Kyle, who's Kyle?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we're not going to go into
There
why
are
that happened.
stark differences between the two of you. Okay.
Shut the fuck up, Robert.
You just got the full Robert.
Victory is mine.
Come on, man. That is entry level pun bullshit right there. You can do better than that.
It got a reaction out of you. That's all that matters.
God, frankly, I'm appalled. Just like a hole in my chest is how that makes me feel.
You know, Rob's acting there, his acting skills to pretend that he even thought that was funny. Dude deserves a Tony for it.
All right, that was good.
He's not wrong.
I pepper in a little joke myself.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I feel like I need a rescue.
This is getting pretty extremist.
This is the pits. I'm hot. God damn it, I fucked the joke up.
What did that feel like? The pot's calling the kettle black.
More like the pot saying this conversation's the pits.
Of your cosplay list, what is your favorite of them that you've cosplayed? What character is the one that stands out the most? I feel like I know Dana's answer. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping it's a little more than
I have
just that.
2 cosplays. It's a pretty easy guess.
Well, I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt, but still.
I'll go after Kelly or after whoever is.
So
'Cause I
my
do have something to say.
favorite to cosplay, Gwenpool, but I think I'm better known for Kate Bishop.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, Kate Bishop is more fun in, the horrible back and forth that we always have.
'Cause
Now,
Kate Bishop is the better Hawkeye.
Sure. Shit, I actually have to say that on record somewhere, don't I?
Yes,
Oh,
you do.
and look, we have something that can be on record.
you do. And
Kate
don't worry,
Bishop.
I'll leave it in. Nope, say it again.
Your mic cut
Kate-
out.
No, it didn't. You're fucking liars.
No,
I didn't hear
did.
it. It did cut out.
Kate Bishop is the better Hawkeye. Oh shit! You know why my mic cut out? It was cutting. It's a truth filter. It only let me tell the truth.
In the comic books, he does admit better Hawkeye.
Comic books aren't canon to the MCU, and neither is
That's
Kate.
true.
That says-
Oh,
she will
uncalled
be.
for.
She will be. She's getting her own goddamn show. She doesn't even have their own movie.
yeah. We all was mad about
Shots
that Kate
fired.
Hawkeye
Arrow's fired.
show. Shots fired. Bang, bang. No, arrows fired. Bing. If we
I
had
brought like 12 of them. You're welcome.
oh my god.
Yeah, and I shot 12.
As they are.
Jeremy Renner's great.
Renner is a better Hawkeye than Hawkeye's depiction in the MCU is.
Yeah.
Like, him making
Yeah,
fun of
that's-
Hawkeye is a better depiction of Hawkeye than what MCU let him be.
Gotcha.
If you threw Jeremy Renner in a dumpster, you basically bring Hawkeye into reality. Because Hawkeye's always falling in dumpsters. I mean, I do have more than just Loki and Spider-Man, but they're all like I have the Flynn Rider that I was talking about earlier. I have, I have like some casual bits and pieces. Loki's definitely what I'm known because I did that steady year, steadily adding pieces to it to make it, to a bit, and it's definitely at cons. Like I actually, to the point that at Granite this past year, when I walked past Justin and Roxas wearing my spider suit, mask off, I walked right past them when we were going through one side, looked them right in the eye and said hi to both, and they got a few steps past me before they realized it was me. So that's how recognizable I am as Loki, to the point that I'm not recognized as anyone else. But when I'm doing stuff locally for charity and whatnot, I tend to go with Spider-Man because transport.
Want the heroes.
Kids want the heroes, and even though the kids do like Loki because of the spectacle of it, kids freaking love Spider-Man.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and I've had kids from literally like 50 feet away, hey, Spider-Man, and just charge at me and give me a hug. It's the sweetest thing.
I think one of the interesting things about that too that I've noticed is that most characters in a mask, kids are scared of. Yeah. Spider-Man's like the one exception to that rule.
Yeah, and that's true actually. Like when I did Loki at local events, even like toddlers, they were fine with Loki because they could see his face, they could smiling. I can use Spider-Man body language, and it's fine. I've had kids be nervous while I take them care. I've had kids follow me around like little shadows. There was one who was doing an event at a bookstore, and this one little guy, he as Spider-Man as well, and he, for the entire couple of any book I picked up, any toy I picked up and played with, any joke I made, he would repeat.
That's awesome.
It was so fucking adorable, to the point, and whenever he wanted my attention, because I was giving him but I would like spin off to talk to other kids periodically or just talk. Whenever he wanted my attention, big, and I'd be like, "Yeah, little Spider-Man, what?" It was so freaking. It was just.
That's that's awesome.
Yeah.
Rob.
Yes.
What's your favorite character to cosplay?
My favorite character to cosplay?
I mean, clearly you're known for Captain America. That's what we all know you as.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's only in recent years. When I was first starting out in the community, I was much more known for Robin. And then I went into the whole Cap thing, and been doing that for, I think, 3 or 4 or 5 years now. Gosh. But as far as, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd say that my favorite character to cosplay would be Kilgrave.
Saw you as Kilgrave. Really good. I think that was the first time I actually met you.
Oh.
Actually, yeah, I can confirm that, Kelly.
What?
That was the first time that she would have met you, or probably was.
Those are it's fun to do. It is fun to do villains because you don't see many of them, and especially if you're not an asshole running around making the con miserable for everyone. Because we've all seen that at any size of convention. You've seen people being Joker and fucking going around kicking puppies.
Deadpool a little too hard.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Like, oh, I'm Deadpool. That means that I can like break the fourth wall and drop f-bombs at kids and grab people where they don't want to be grabbed. And like, no. First of all, Deadpool would never fucking do that. Second of all, no.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed cosplaying Kilgrave because, one, it's just a suit. It's much more comfortable than, say, my Captain America suit, where it's just, I mean, I'm
8 layers of fake leather.
It's disgusting. I've worn that suit in like 90 plus.
Man.
No, man, the one that was the worst for me was when I was out at an event in New York, and it was a nice big open field, nice bright and sunny, but it was like over 90 degrees out, and I kept refusing to go into like an AC'd vehicle to like rehydrate or whatever. I was like, no, I'm not taking a break. I'm here for this event. I'm here for the kids. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stick it out. By the end of it, on the drive back from New York, I came to realize, I might have mild heat stroke. Like,
It's another advantage to Spider-Man.
That's like when I wore my Iron Man suit to Bacon Fest.
Yep.
And we were out on the sidewalk, and
you were bacon.
I was in about 60 pounds of suit, and it's about 95 degrees, and helmet on, head's all sealed in, and
and that's the thing is
don't wear 3D printed suits, I guess.
I've had people ask me like, "Oh man, aren't you hot in that thing?" And I always joke with them, no man, I've got an AC unit compartment in my boot that's blowing air up and through the suit to help cool me off. And they all look at me, every single one of them. Really?
No, I'm dying.
I'm just like, no, I'm joking. Yes, I'm sweating, man. I am dying in this thing. I could use a little water. But
There are definitely outdoor cosplays versus indoor cosplays. Sadly.
yeah, but that's the thing is that the material that my cap suit is made out of. I don't know why I gesture to a mannequin that doesn't have it on there, but is that
It's okay. Your camera's frozen for me.
When it's hot out, I'm boiling. When it's cold out, I'm freezing. Like, no matter what, because that material just takes on the temperature so well.
Yeah.
Were you at or was it Ride for Kids the year we had Jason there as Aquaman?
No,
or was that the one year
no.
you missed?
That might have been the year I missed.
We ice bucket challenge, or he wanted to do the ice bucket challenge in his Aquaman stuff.
Oh my god!
And it was like at the end of the day, and they had one of the water bins for all the water bottles.
Yeah.
Was empty, so we just dumped it on him.
Yikes! But yeah, no, Kilgrave is super comfortable, and yeah, like because of the fact that I've been so known to being a superhero cosplayer, getting to be a villain is exciting.
Yeah.
Getting to
you can
have that mentality all day.
Because you can kind of villain at a show and just like one of my favorite things to do. I have my Tesseract prop, and I, because I used to have a paper mache small scepter that I would just boop and tap people with.
Right.
I'm not going to do that with my plastic resin one that cost me $600, which I usually have in full spear mode, so is usually not as kind of unwieldy. Tesseract, boop, and it's just fun. People's reactions. Like I was at Super Mega Fest at the end of 2019, and I walked past. There was a bunch of teenagers all, and just by coincidence, as I'm walking past, one of the few who was not in the middle, I booped the Todoroki one, which, if you're not familiar, he's the one with the red and white lit hair, because he has ice powers on one side and fire powers on the other side. He's nicknamed Half and. So when I'm walking past, the kid jokes, I was like, I feel like I just got price scanned. And I'm just like, and I'm like, oh, and I zip back, and I'm like, okay, hold still. And I put one hand on the kid's shoulder, and I take the cube, and I go, boop, boop. Oh, half off. And I fucking Benny Hill ran myself out of there as all of them like take a second to realize the joke and just start laughing.
Yeah. When I first did my Kilgrave cosplay, I did it for Super Mega Fest way back in the day now, and I was there with my ex-wife, and she was cosplaying as Jessica Jones. And one of the absolute pleasures I got to have in being Kilgrave during that con was I was talking to a friend of mine, and my ex-wife was off in another circle about maybe 5 feet away.
You weren't exes at the time, I assume.
No. We're exes now.
Okay. Right.
She was like 5 or 6 feet away, and I'm talking to my buddy, and he was like, "Oh, hey, where's your other half?" And I look around, I scan the room, and I see where she is. And my buddy wanted to get a picture of me and her together in our cosplays. And over the crowd that was in that at that con, I yelled out, "Jessica!" Everybody's heads turned and looked at me, just like, "Holy shit! What the?" And then they started whipping their head back at her, and then at me, and then they realized they made the connection. Went, "Oh shit!" And I went, "Yeah, that's what I wanted."
Play aspect is the best part of it. And I mean, like, have you guys seen one of the MythBusters guys Spirited Away?
I don't know what you said, but are you talking
I'm
about
assuming
Adam
you're
Savage?
talking about Adam Savage, how he did, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so someone whose microphone fucking works, explain it for the one person watching the stream.
Are we talking about Adam Savage building a working Iron Man suit, or Adam Savage being at Comic-Con?
Or Adam
Comic-Con,
Savage
no
cosplaying
face.
Captain America.
Or Adam
when
Savage?
he
Or was it
cosplayed
the
no
face
face.
guy where he would
Oh,
give
when he was
gold?
giving out gold and people kept running up to him
Yeah.
and giving the gold piece back, and he was like, "I don't
And
understand."
then the
I'm
one
giving you
person,
junk."
right.
And somebody
And like
explained to him.
yeah, you create the narrative for the character without even having to, and kill.
Yeah.
So I actually have a question.
Oh boy.
Now we've all been part of the cosplay community for however many years, and all like known for a character at cons, especially. Do you guys ever feel like that's kind of a detriment because you get folks, not even the ones who are trying to be cosplay, get the folks who are so used to being the one character that if character try to stake their claim, just I don't know, I've had a mixed bag of experiences.
You want to break out of that real quick? Just do a big armor build. It was always, hey, you cosplay Hawkeye, and then I wore an Iron Man suit for 2 hours at an event one time, and it's, where's the suit? Like, it hurts. That's where it is. Fuck off.
People want the spectacle.
Why'd you just go green?
No,
I honestly, I have so many. I have so many costumes. I really don't think people recognize me specifically as one. They may be like, I saw you as this one that one time, but like, I have so many, and I can only go to so many cons in a year that I cycle them
Right.
so frequently. I mean, I do have my favorites, but
Right.
I don't think I'm really identified as one character.
I identify you as Kate Bishop.
Justin, what
Well, I
happened to
mean,
your
we have a
stream?
rapport.
I mean, when I think of Kelly's mainstays, I honestly still think Winter Soldier.
To answer your question, I like having been cosplaying Captain America for somewhere in the ballpark of 5 years.
Yeah.
I have found it to be a detriment for me, because like I found that I basically just have had to keep everything that I cosplay Captain America oriented.
Right.
Like I've got his stealth suit from Winter Soldier. I've got his Civil War suit. I've got his World War II uniform from the first Captain America: First Avenger movie. I've got his on your left running suit. I've got probably in the ballpark of seven or eight different Captain America outfits.
You've got like a squadron's worth of caps.
Yeah. I mean, I even have his USO show suit. And I've got 7 or 8 outfits. I've got 3 shields. It's become something I'm so known for that.
Yeah.
When I've mentioned this to other people in the past, but like when people have wanted to express their gratitude towards me for like something I did for them or whatever, they want to thank me, or if I have there's an issue between me and somebody else and they want to apologize,
They get you
they give me Captain America stuff, and I always appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, like I appreciate the gesture and I like the stuff I'm given, but I actually am not, and I know this is going to be really controversial for me to say, but I wasn't a big Captain America fan growing up. I didn't start getting into Captain America until I started watching the Chris Evans movies and cosplaying it. That's when it really started for me. Like when I was growing up, like most exposure I had to Captain America was a couple of issues where it was like Captain America turns into a werewolf and fights Wolverine. That's what I knew.
Yeah.
That was it.
And in fairness, Chris Evans is fucking amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's part of the draw for me is that I'm a big Chris Evans fan. What?
Do you want to know why I got so into cosplaying Hawkeye?
You wanted to give it your shot?
Sure. Do you remember we were sitting around my work way back when I had first joined up and was cosplaying with the group? And I was like,
I'll say yes for this point.
I was like, what can I do for a hero? And you and I were talking about it. And you're like, well, Hawkeye. And then you and I found my first Hawkeye suit online, and I bought it like a week later.
I made you Hawkeye?
Yep.
Oh.
Wow, the power you have.
You made me into Hawkeye, and then you introduced me to my wife.
Hey, Rob, you know anyone single?
Not in Vermont.
I know, right? That's half the problem. No one lives here.
Dana's like, I'll travel.
Yeah, at this point. And I mean, that's kind of similar situation with me, where I started doing Loki at that dimension, where I would try to, when he's at the party, gouges the dude's eyes out. So, but it didn't even. So I bought my first suit online. It's still the suit I wear, functionally enough for that. And like I said earlier, and much like the army said, people spectacle, so it always tension. But it's hard to break out. We have such here in Vermont. Not even with Guardian League, here you to go to convention.
Right.
When I bought a Spider-Man suit, I got nothing major. Don't get me wrong, but I got a little bit joking pushback on it, and it's like, I already got for it, so I felt like the character was up for grabs. So what? Now we have 2 Spider-Man. So it's like I got almost, like I said, almost, and I feel like at the con scene itself, that's even more emphasis, where it, not that you say, what the fuck, man, I'm Hawkeye.
Right.
Like, not that you would, but definitely, unfortunately, I feel my character, or at least no one else outside of randomly running into events. Sorry, where?
See, I've found all the characters I like to play are lesser known, like Bishop, who up until recently wasn't even considered in the MCU, and she still isn't technically in it yet. And then Gwenpool, who again only has her comic books, and my Lady Loki, and the Winter Soldier, and it's just like these characters are not well known outside of like people who actually appreciate comic books and stuff like that. That you know, I might be, like I said, I think the best one I know is Kate. But the one I'm best known for is Kate Bishop. Like the characters I do are so niche that there's very few other cosplayers happening. So like when we see each other, like we're kind of giddy to be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
you know the thing too."
Yeah.
So like,
And I feel like for your Loki and your Bucky, gender flip versions of characters get a little pass on it because you're not Winter Soldier, you're lady, you're a female Winter Soldier.
and
Not even that it's a,
they're
go ahead.
no, it's also just like a lot of women like that character for more than just Sebastian Stan, but like he's just a he get a little political, like he's a character who is used and abused and has to come out the other side, and I think there are many women in the world who have been used and abused and have to come out the other side.
It's a narrative you can relate to.
Yeah, it's a narrative that a lot of women can just relate to. Oh, like yeah, so it's it's just that sort of thing. Like we're a little more niche, but like still like when I'm trying to explain these characters to new coworkers or something, I'm like, "Do you know who the Winter Soldier is?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Alarm guy." They're like, "Oh yeah." So it's still like,
Yeah.
he's even though he is literally in the MCU in all of the Captain America movies, people still don't know who he is.
I mean, what was it at Christmas in the City where the guy saw your up and taught you the
I was like, "Oh, that's a deep cut."
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you.
So
Even though she literally had to run a comics at.
Yeah, so it's and that is the fun thing about being those niche characters, that when I had my original attempt, I ended up just being really dapper. I was wearing like a vest and a button-up shirt and all that shit. I had one person, who are you, Loki? And I lost it when I had someone actually figure it.
Nice.
And I don't ask the question initially to shit all over the community, because it is a talk to you. Wasn't. Yeah, you get a few bad acts.
It really is just a nice feeling when someone recognizes this lesser known character that you're doing. So
I mean, I've tried, like, in the years of being Cap, I've tried to branch out and do a couple of other things. Like I said, Kilgrave was within this time period, and I
Riddler.
Riddler actually goes back to my Robin days. I did that the same weekend as I first started doing Robin. I've just been upgrading it over time.
I was gonna say you have an updated version anyway.
Yes. Yeah. But like I also
He's on my list to eventually do.
Oh yeah, he's fun.
Please do Jim
Yeah.
Carrey.
No.
spot on.
What?
Uh-oh.
Jim Carrey Riddler too spot on.
Oh.
A little bit.
No, I only want to do bodysuits for Spider-Man. Or Sinestro again. Sinestro, fucking.
But I mean, I've also done Constantine, which was a hard sell, because most people just see a guy like they saw me walking around, in a trench coat and a white dress shirt and a red tie, and because of the similarity, I kept getting, "Oh man, it's Castiel from Supernatural."
Wrong color.
Or I'd get what was it? Oh, who are you supposed to be? Shaun of the Dead? Like what? What? And
You see Red Stain?
yeah. And it's, but
So I was at.
I mean, I had fun with it, and like, you know, every time I saw a Castiel cosplayer, I'd be like, oh, hey, it's Constantine. Uh,
Fucking troll. So I was at a con where I saw, there was this couple in there. They were just walking to the table. Oh, are you? I said, oh, are you Kaylee? And she's like, who? I'm not dressed as anyone. Have you ever watched Firefly? And she said, no. And I explained, well, and I pulled up my phone because the woman was wearing dark tan coverall, flower print shirt, had her hair back. And I show her a picture of Kaylee from Firefly, and I said, you're about to have a very annoying day.
I've definitely gone up to people and I'm like, oh, are you such a character? They're like, not wearing a costume. And I'm like, oh,
Okay, bye.
surprise you are.
Good luck.
At Empire, we had a friend who showed up, and he was just there to help his girlfriend set up her table, and he was definitely wearing like a leather jacket, and he had like the perfect Chris Evans from Scott Pilgrim versus the World costume on,
Oh my god.
unintentionally, and everyone's like, "Are you the asshole boyfriend?"
Oh
And
my god.
And we're like, "Well, yes, but that's not a costume." And then somebody found a red scarf and put it on me. He's like, "No, I'm fucking Negan."
I got another good one.
I remember that.
So the lake monsters that we mentioned earlier, they also do a family day. Is like it's in the off season, and they just like use the local fairground space to just basically get money from fans. But it's good for businesses too. So we were set up there one day. Spider-Man. Armin was Captain America. I forget what Shay was. I don't know if you were there yet, Kelly. I don't think you were. Yeah. So there were a few. And, we had some folks who were there as well. So there were like half. So this kid, like 10-ish, he comes up and he starts like going on about everything he knows about one of us. I forget who. And so we say to him, it's like, all right, it's starts going through the rest of it and naming who we all are. And Armin was sitting at the table, just getting off his feet for a minute and just talking with our buddy Cody, who was just there to hang out. He was Cody, for reference, wears a lot of logo t-shirts and has a goatee, very. And so the kid is going, all of us standing, and I'm like, hey buddy, who's there? And I'm Caps to give the cap, and he goes, that's Captain America, and that's Tony Stark. And we all, and Cody does not cosplay, so we all shit. And there's actually been a couple times since then, because Armin has an Iron Man light up helmet. There's been a couple times since then we've actually dragged Adam stand there with